Hey there, option addicts. What's happening? It's Tuesday, April 3rd. It's a day I normally release a greatest hit, a new video. Hopefully it does something here for your portfolio or your watch list this week, but I got a bunch of patterns I'm watching, so let's not post haste. Dow's kind of moving higher here this morning, up triple digits. It's a bull market still, looks like. So a lot of these are going to be pretty bullish plays for the most part. Trina Solar is where I'm going to start today. This was Eric Utley's investment of the week a couple weeks back. But as I watched this thing progress to me, it looked like there was a lot of potential here for a symmetrical triangle, and that has been the case. And I think this is a pretty volatile stock, and it's going to get ready to bust here pretty soon. If you look at some of the other stocks there, like what is it, FSLR, still an uptrending stock, still like the move here. So solar stock's looking pretty good. So keep an eye on Trina. Next, I've got FMX. And looks like that still off and running. Tried to get to this one quickly, but looks like I'm a little late on it. Nice flag pattern going on here. You can see the formation looks a little something like this. Draw your flagpole from about 107.5 up to as high as about 116. So the stock has probably about a good 9 points to move. It's already moved about a small portion of that, but FMX, you can see for the most part, a lot of the foreign markets starting to perform really well. So like FMX, like Mexico here on the list. Sorry, moving slow here, a little technology glitch. Next, Thor, Thor. Looks like that's starting to bust out today. It's a small cap stock, small price stock, so don't expect huge things out of this guy. Volume hasn't really taken place yet, but I'm thinking by the end of today, if everything pans out well, this could be a good entry point. Cheap stock, flagpole is probably looks like about 10% of the underlying equity price. So you take an option trade here, look for a 10% move. It's going to be a pretty good gain on those options. Actually, I'm not even sure if this is optionable. You might want to double check me on that. What about eBay? Not a big fan of the super enormous large cap stocks, but I'll throw this one out there. If eBay starts competing in their space, they might be pretty dangerous coming up here pretty soon. Kind of a long-term ascending triangle, albeit not in a very long period of an upward trend. But, from here you can see, from when the stock bottomed out at about 23, it's been rising. So keep an eye on this ascending triangle here. What I would say is that whether it breaks, or whether you call it an ascending triangle or not, when it breaks 34, right here where that resistance is, it's going to be a good trade nonetheless. So keep an eye on it. SMSI. No confirmation on this guy yet, but a good flag pattern, cheap stock. This one probably will be, it's a little more volatile than the last one that we looked at. So if I had my preference, I'd probably trade in this direction. A little more volatility here. Keep an eye for the break of resistance. Right now it looks like it opened higher, but it's starting to close back within support and resistance here. So a good breakout of this pattern with some good volume. I think you take a trade here. Flagpole at 16, the height at 20. So a $4 move on a $20 stock. It's very nice. Keep an eye on healthcare. We'll start with Cardinal Health. Yeah, today it's starting to break higher. So I'm going to enter a trade a little bit later on today here. And, not the best looking triangle on Cardinal. But if you go over to Coventry, CVH, yeah, they're gapping up this morning too. All right, so some triangles going on here in the healthcare. Gapping open, likely to be some good volume follow-up here today. So keep an eye on healthcare. I think there's going to be some pretty good trades there. CVH is especially nice because you're breaking into a new 52-week high on the one-year chart. It's going to be a great trade. CME, what do you know? I'm not all that bullish on this, but according to a few traders, they might be. So, for some reason, let's delete this line, draw another one. All right, so I'm watching a symmetrical triangle here in Chicago Merck, waiting for a break of resistance if you're bullish, or support if you're bearish. I still happen to be long some puts on this one, getting pretty close to an exit. If that happens, I'll even show you where my exit is right now. I've got a stop in right here so I can salvage some dignity. So I'm pretty close on this one to getting stopped out. We'll see how it plays out. Looking at EOG resources. Zoom in here to, got an email on this one. Looks like could be a flag pattern here. Start your flagpole from about 66. You can see the stock climbed all the way up to about 73 before it started to spin off sideways a little bit. So in this pattern, you got about 7-8 point move. We'll keep an eye on this one. What else do we got? GES. Let me zoom in here, and got a symmetrical triangle going on here. And guess, watch for a break of resistance to the upside. Boom, I think you got a really good trade here. One that could run for about a $5 move. $40 stock, we love those. Lufkin, still on the list. And this has been like 2 or 3 weeks running, but inverted head and shoulders formation. Watching for a break of, I got so many lines on here, you're probably not going to be able to tell what in the world I'm looking at. There we go. Just that line. That's all we need right there. Just a line in the sand. A break above 57, we go long. Simple as that. Have to make things so freaking difficult around here. Next, I think this is MUR. I can't read my handwriting, but all right. So a little bit of a flag pattern here. It doesn't look all that great. In fact, looks like the volume has been pretty high on this decline. So don't get too attached to this one, but watch for a break like we always do. Break above resistance here. I'll confirm this flag. If it starts traveling too much lower, abandon it by, I'd say, the end of the week if it doesn't work out. Children's Place, PLCE. I'll just show you that. The triangle's still there, still on the radar. Hasn't broke yet, but we're watching it. Pinnacle Financial. PNFP, descending triangle. There we go. Waiting for a break of about 29.5 before it confirms. I think we're still a ways out in front of this one, but keep an eye on it. Could be a great trade once it finally breaks 29. Moving quickly, Armor Holdings, the next great big investment or trade, depending on how you look at this. I go to a 5-year chart, and, geez, I need to delete my lines again. So let me draw this out a little bit. I don't know if everyone's, oh, I can't do it with this. All right, so this half circle formation is the cup. This little divvy off to the right here, that's our handle. So you got a long-term cup and handle here, stock breaking higher. This is going to be a 16-point move over the next year if you're an investor. If you're a trader, which I am, you go down to the 1-year chart. Actually, let's go to 6 months, shake it up a little bit. You could even consider this action right here a short-term cup and handle. You can see kind of the rounded bottom formation, kind of a flat movement off to the side here, which constitutes our handle. Stocks breaking out. New 52-week high. Those are the kind of stocks we like to watch. So keep an eye on Armor. Let's see, I'm 8 minutes. I got 2 minutes left to go. Let's move quickly. SII. So the flag that we watched here broke to the upside. Now it's starting to travel sideways again. It broke out of its all-time resistance here a little while ago. It's traveling sideways. Once it finally breaks out again, you got to get on this stock. It's been hot as of late. We like that volume that's picking up here. Notice how average volume has been really starting to increase. We like that. So another flag here on SII. Keep an eye on that. CYMI. This is like 3 weeks running and still no break, but still watching for a break of 39 to confirm this descending triangle, and I'll take it. And I think this is the last one for today, AGR. Symbol AGR was not recognized. Okay, so apparently there is no AGR where there's an ascending triangle that I was dying to show you. So be it. Oh well. If you can pull up a ticker symbol, type in AGR, unless I'm the guy that wrote it down wrong. But anyway, so those are a few patterns that I'm watching for this week. That's this half the portion of my watch list. The other half, my support bounces, resistance bounces, and interesting things like that, I'll probably come out with tomorrow. I know I always say that, but tomorrow is looking really good for another video. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you, folks, for all the recent traffic in the comments. As always, I love your participation. If you have any questions, jeff.kohler@investtools.com. Let me know what's on your mind. Take care, everyone. Good luck in the market this week. We'll see you.